Are you wondering how an application deployed with AppSync will function in production environment? I have created a production deployment of AppSync for a customer, and I can tell you it's a cakewalk. In the beginning of this video, we will create a web hosting for our application. After 8 minutes in this video, we will be testing that application. Make sure to skip to 8 minutes of this video if you're not interested about web hosting. Here is an S3 bucket. Why an S3 bucket? Too much Amazon AWS. Well, I predict that most AppSync users will already be using AWS, and S3 is just really easy for them to deploy with because it's scalable and simple. So I have set up this bucket as public access to everyone for viewing, and I've set up static website hosting. Now what we need to do is put stuff into this bucket. So we will npm run build to build our application into a build directory here, and we will upload that to the bucket. Cool. Now what do? We upload it to the bucket.
Bucket's name is if branch.
We set the reading of these files to public. We cache these files. Why is caching nice? Caching is nice because then you don't have to download the application every time you load it, so it will be lightning fast to load. What's the problem with caching? Well, then you don't get the newest version of the application. So we will exclude these two files. Index.html and service worker.js. These two files contain references to all the other files, and we will download these files if we have connection to the internet, and these files are really fast to load because pretty much all they do is they contain references to all the dependencies. The build system changes the name of the reference files, so they won't be loaded from cache. So index.html will not be cached. And neither will service worker. Let's open our static web hosting. So the index document is index.html. When we load this, it loads. Everything works. It's so nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful web page. Now, of course, the domain name is a bit awkward, so I'll quickly tell you how to fix this in AWS. This has nothing really to do with AppSync, so I won't go into too much detail, but I'll show you the settings that I recommend for you to do.
I recommend you set up a CloudFront distribution and you set it up for the S3 bucket. You set it up to redirect everything to HTTPS. You set object caching to use origin cache headers. That means that we will use the headers that we just set up in our S3 bucket. And you probably want to set this on so that the files will be faster to download. And you set up a CNAME, the domain name that you want to. You create a certificate for it. And you set up default root object to index HTML for the CloudFront distribution. And in Cloud 53, in Route 53, you set up a record, A-type record, and you set it as an alias to this your CloudFront distribution front. So it's to this one here. And we will add these commands. I'll copy it and I will create deploy.sh file script. And which will run npm run build and all these commands that we ran, so that you can easily find this command from this project's Git repository, which is linked down below. Let's see, AppSync ifelsebranch.com. Now, obviously, I've given this DNS record time to distribute and everything, and it works.
I'm currently living here in Portugal, and today, on Saturday, they are hosting the finals of Eurovision, the European singing contest. Let's walk around.
Now, let's test this application. I still have open this application that I ran from localhost in our test development server. And I have our newest distribution from the AppSync ifelsebranch.com site. Now, these are both using the same API, so they should be able to synchronize with each other. And I hope this works. Let's see what would be a good game. Resident Evil, for example. I mean the earlier versions, not the newer ones. It's there, it's magical. Okay, another example. Let me see. So we could, for example, we could go offline and we could write something like snake. Now it's here, snake game. Of course, it's not here because this one is offline. It can't send any data. And we can refresh this page, and the snake will remain there. And we can load the whole page while we're offline because it's cached, and we've cached this snake. So we have two kinds of caches. We have the browser cache and service worker cache that cache this page, and we can fully load it offline. La 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 la. And we have the AppSync cache that caches the snake here, the games that we have loaded before. All this caching works really nice together, wouldn't you say? Now let's try to go online. See, the snake is not here. Go online. It's here. Da 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 da. This is all so happy and dandy. Oh, everybody use AppSync. It's the perfect, it's so simple, it's so nice. Wait a minute. What are the drawbacks? It can't all be that simple.
Can it? It can't all be that simple, can it? Is it possible? Could it be possible?
Well, there are some drawbacks, of course. All this caching is pretty complicated. One thing is you need to write this optimistic response so that when you are offline and you make a request, you can instantly get a response without ever contacting the server. And for example, if you're subscribing to some list, you need to know where to put that new upcoming item to that list without even knowing if you've loaded to that part of the list yet. What if this list had some filters on it? Also, I kind of find this whole Apollo client to be a bit magical, and you have a lot of these kind of things, and it goes like woo. But would I say it's better than the alternative options? Well, yeah, it's a really nice way to satisfy the requirement of having your data be updated on the page. And you don't have to make everything on your page offline capable or synchronous if you don't want to. But when you're starting programming, I would recommend you try doing that from the beginning, and then you understand all the requirements. Okay, let's make some more tests. I make this one offline, and I also make this one offline, and I write localhost game here, and I write AppSync game here, and then I add this online. There's some bug with, wait, how did this get AppSync game? This doesn't have localhost game. This got AppSync game. What? Okay, it seems that turning this offline when the WebSocket is already on doesn't work, but when you load the whole page offline, then we can demonstrate this. So when this page is loaded fully offline, and we add here AppSync game 7, it won't come here until I push online. Good. And this keeps making like double items. When I reload this page, they will go away. This is some kind of bug we have currently with AppSync, there's a question about that in Stack Overflow. It basically says that it applies both the optimistic response and the response from the server, and that's why it creates a double response in your cache. So it's all pretty complicated.
What do you think about AppSync? Will it make web apps as good as the native ones? Or is it the stuff from your nightmares? Comment, like, subscribe.